Since the October the 7th Hamas attacks, the world has been focused on the actions of the Israeli military in Gaza. The West Bank is another section of Palestinian territory that has received less attention. It's home to 3 million Palestinians and is partially run by the Palestinian Authority. But there has been an Israeli military presence there for decades. That military presence has drastically increased since the beginning of the war, and violence has been surging. A special investigation by Isabel Young, Josh Baker and Sarah Obeidat has uncovered new evidence about the killing of 2 boys by the Israeli army. Here's Isabel Young. You may find some images in her report distressing.
On the 29th of November last year, 15-year-old Basil and 8-year-old Adam were killed by Israeli forces on a street in Jenin in the West Bank. Our team, in collaboration with BBC Verify, have been piecing together what happened to them. We've been able to collect CCTV footage and mobile phone footage, witness testimony and information about the movements of the military that day. And this has allowed us to create a timeline of those shootings. In the afternoon, a convoy of at least 6 Israeli armoured vehicles were returning from a nearby raid. We've tracked their routes across Jenin, which took them past the street where Basil and Adam were. The 2 boys and around 7 friends were out on the street. CCTV footage from a shop shows Basil in the foreground here holding something in his right hand and making a movement with it with his left hand towards it. You can then see him shot and falling backwards. More bullets hit the ground nearby him. Video from another angle shows 8-year-old Adam slightly further down that same street from Basil. He's shot in the back of his head as he's trying to run away. He also falls, this time forwards, and is then dragged behind a car. We were also able to obtain another crucial video of this incident, which is a nearby boy who was filming on his phone at the time. He was able to capture one of the Israeli military vehicles driving by. When this footage is slowed down and enhanced, it shows the driver's door opening. You can see that right here. The driver has a direct view of those boys. They're around 24 metres away from Basil and 36 metres away from Adam. We know that at least 11 shots were fired from the direction of the armoured vehicle because we examined the bullet strikes at the scene. We've also got hold of copies of Basil and Adam's medical reports, and they show us that 2 bullets struck Basil's chest and another one hit Adam in the back of his head. Now, the exact rules around when soldiers can and can't use lethal force in the West Bank are secret, but some of the rules that apply elsewhere are public. Guidelines of the Israeli Defense Forces state that the use of lethal force must be a last resort and that it must be proportionate in relation to the danger, suggesting that Basil and Adam would have needed to pose a serious threat to soldiers. According to all the video evidence that we've examined, 8-year-old Adam was not armed when he was shot in the back of his head. The Israeli army has said that the suspects had been attempting to hurl explosives towards their forces, which put them in immediate danger. They also shared this annotated picture with us that they say shows an explosive device lying on the ground close to where Basil was shot. The object looks consistent with a type of very small pipe bomb that is used in the West Bank, but we can't fully verify the image itself. We've shown our findings to international human rights experts. Dr. Lawrence Hill Cawthorne, the co-director of the Centre for International Law, told us that the soldiers were in armoured vehicles. Even if they were a threat, they should have driven away and planned an arrest, rather than defaulting to apparently indiscriminate lethal force, which is a violation of international law. Ben Saul, the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights and Counter-Terrorism, has told us that while there may be questions about the use of lethal force in Basil's case, the killing of Adam, in his view, appears to be a war crime.